Hello, everyone. This is Marie Manucherry, and I wanted to give you some tips about how to really affect the subconscious mind, because that's really what we're wanting to do all the time, is to invade the subconscious mind in positive thoughts and language that actually lights our soul on fire and gets us going. Most of our subconscious thoughts, which are where our belief system lies, was, you could say, infiltrated before the age of 5. So I believe that the majority of our belief system happened from birth to approximately the age of 5. Could be 6 or 7, but somewhere in that time period. About 70% of everything that we believe in was created during that time period. And one of the ways to invade the beautiful, fresh, fertile ground of the subconscious mind is to repeat things over and over and over again. The language that stays in your brain for a while will start to move into the subconscious mind and then create belief systems based on that language, which could be 1,000 times more helpful, especially when we're doing it from a conscious perspective versus kind of a lack of consciousness when we're quite young. We don't recognize that what we're hearing, what we're seeing, how we're perceiving things are creating belief systems. And when you have a belief system, that's also how you manifest, unless you're aware of the belief system, because most belief systems are not positive or effective for humankind. They're mostly negative, based on fear or doubt or worry. So when you repeat something intentionally that makes you happy, then you do it enough times, like you almost know it by rote because you've repeated it enough times, it will infiltrate the subconscious mind and start to create new belief systems based on its vibration. So I have a tool, kind of a favorite tool of mine. It comes from the author, John Randolph Price. So here's 2 of my favorite books in the world. I've read these, I don't know how many times. I have so many copies. This one looks a little worn and torn. This one's called The Super Beings. I started reading this in my 20s. And this one's called The Abundance Book. And it's in the Abundance Book that there's this really cool prayer that I use it verbatim, the prayer for financial growth, and I'll repeat it. But then I also take the prayer and I switch it up with different words because I like the construct of it and its basic design. However, I may want to work on other things besides creating wealth. So the Abundance Book and the prayer that's in here by John Randolph Price, I don't believe he's on the earth any longer. I really love the old school spiritualists, the people who were writing and creating spiritual texts in the early, 1900s. I don't think Jonathan or John was quite that old, but he definitely falls in that category because he uses some old English. And it's important to use language that your brain doesn't recognize when you're reading spiritual text or making prayers, because you don't want your ego or your really strong consciousness to get in there and start to change the true meaning of it. So that's one of the reasons why I like these very old books. So I'm just going to repeat the prayer. Now, I just want to warn you, for those of you who don't like any form of religion, I'm not religious. I've never read the Bible, but I still love the words of God and Christ. They actually do something for my energy. And that's important to figure out what language does stuff for your energy, because that's all that matters. Not necessarily what your brain tells you about it, like, oh, I shouldn't be using that word. That word actually invokes some sort of patriarchal, unhealthy way of life. No, it's how does it affect you? So if you don't like those 2 words, because they're going to be in the prayer that I'm going to recite, you can change them up yourself. You can put in like universe or the divine. You can change it and make it any way you want to. Like forest, I think, trees are exemplified beings of spiritual teachers. They're amazing. So here's the prayer that I've recited for many times. It's in my brain, and it's about wealth. It comes from the Abundance Book by John Randolph Price. The Spirit of God within me is the source of my supply. My Christ self only knows lavish abundance. This knowingness is constantly at work in my life and all of my affairs. My spirit now appears as its all sufficiency. So I like that prayer because your mind doesn't really understand all sufficiency. What? And so when your mind doesn't fully understand, that's actually good, because you're aligning to the vibration of the prayer. And this prayer has been around for a long time. It has a lot of positive juju in it. And I would recommend, when you're going to start to repeat language over and over and over again to uplift the perception of your subconscious mind, that you do it with some activity. I like to do it while I'm walking the dog or on a treadmill, hiking, because I think when you're slightly distracted, it goes into the subconscious mind faster. And in reality, energy work is all about shifting the subconscious mind. It calms down people sufficiently enough. And of course, if you talk like I do through all my sessions, you begin to bathe the subconscious mind with positive, accurate truths, insight, and wisdom for that individual. So now you know one prayer that I use. There's another prayer. In other words, this is one of the ways that I've mixed up the prayer, if you will. So I do it about beauty, you know, because sometimes women, we're hard on ourselves and we don't think we're attractive or whatever we may see. And I'm not saying that men don't feel that way sometimes as well, but that's not true. We are all beautiful and gorgeous and stunning creatures. So here's a prayer that I use sometimes. The Spirit of God within me is the source of my incredible beauty. My Christ self only knows stunning physiques. This knowingness is constantly at work in my life and all of my affairs. My spirit now appears as gorgeous. And when you say that prayer, it doesn't even have to be about your physical appearance. It could be about the way you feel about yourself, because people should believe that they are beautiful, that they are gorgeous, that they are stunning, whether that's a vision from your external perception or from your internal perception. It's important for us to love, adore, and cherish ourselves, and to think that we're beautiful inside and out. You could pick any topic, use the framework of that prayer. You might want to consider getting the abundance book so that you can have the prayer written down, and you'll just have to listen to this multiple times so that you can remember all the language in it. And then you can put different words in it and start utilizing it over and over and over and over and over again until it's something that you remember by rote. When you can remember something by rote, that means it has definitely gotten into your subconscious mind and it is creating beliefs. And when beliefs are created, magic starts to happen. Solutions to whatever it was that you were praying about come into your life. Beautiful, fast, fun, amazing solutions that make you happy and help you let go and get out of the way and enjoy your life. I hope that's helpful. Bye-bye.